Okay, so this is your kit for making a hot toady. Your kit includes the instructions. You'll see what your kit includes list here is the back, the top, the belly, back or top belly, 2 button eyes, patch pocket, leather heart, and stuffing. That's what your kit includes. What you'll need is 2 spools of thread matching the belly and the back, a pop bottle funnel, good scissors, and a sewing machine, optional. All right, assembling your hot toady, we have the back or top here. This one's made of cotton velvet. Yours will be made either of cotton velvet or corduroy or fur. The basic same principle applies. You'll notice that the back has a larger head than the belly. You line them up, and that's because we're going to be putting 2 darts on the back piece. You'll notice there's a flat angle here and here on the corners of the head. You're going to be putting in a dart that will come to about here and here, about 2 inches in from either side, so your button doesn't interfere with your closing hem. So back tack and back tack. Do that twice, one on each side. It's easier to do the left one from this side first, so you can see if you do want it lined up evenly, you can see where your first one ended and how deep it was. But because the dart position will dictate the eye position to a certain degree, the wonky eyes is actually a feature that adds personality to your frog. So precision is not required here. That's step 1. There are your eye darts. Step 2 is to sew your eyes on. So the one thing I didn't write in your instructions that you'll need is a needle and thread. So to put the eyes in, I'll trim these threads first. What's going on? Start at the back. Go through your thread, the knot will stop you. And then come up through the top. Position your eyes in a way that's appealing to you. Close together, slightly skewed, further apart. This has a nice frog look to it, so I think I'll start that way. When you've got your location figured out, fold your fabric in half so that the one half of the holes is visible. This is a 2-hole button, so you're just going to have 1 hole above. Go down through the bottom and back through the top. If you've got a 4-hole button, then go down through the left side and up through the right side, so you get a crisscross on the front. And then down through the right side and up through the left side, so you have crisscross going on the front. This is just a 2-hole button. If you put your finger over the thread as it goes through, you can prevent a knot from forming. You want to go through a fair number of times. Make sure it's nice and secure and it has a nice, somewhat heavy thread look on the front so that it's got a bit of personality and is really secure. You don't want a kid pulling the button off. Some people worry about the buttons with small kids, but they should be anchored by hand, so they'll be a lot firmer than most of the buttons on the clothing that people wear these days because they're put on by machines and not carefully. Give it a bit of a shank, wrap it 3 times, and then we'll work our way through to the back again. And I do encourage tying the buttons off at the beginning and the end on both sides, on each side, so that if you do lose one button, you only have to worry about replacing the one and not both of them. So I'm just doing a bit of a chain stitch there, and I'll do the same thing over here a little more slowly for you. So the chain stitch, leaving some slack here so that I don't wind up with the eyes pulling on each other. So the chain stitch knot, you just put 2 stitches through so you have a loop, and then you pull a little loop through, another loop through, and then the needle through. And that secures your thread. Figure out where I want the other eye. I think there's nice. A little off center. So I'll go up through the one side. Fold the fabric in half at the point again, just because it's easier. Loops. If you're feeling really cheeky, you can put it through and put it back and just pull once. Though this can lead to some severe tangling, so if you have the sewing skill of my mother, I would recommend you do it more slowly than this. She can knot a 2-inch thread. Okay, again the shank 1, 2, 3, just so that they're not squished into the head. Push your needle through to the other side. Flatten your fabric out a little bit, massage it flat. Find a place to start your knot. There's your loop 1, 2, 3. Pull your needle through. Snip your thread. And that's the top. And ready for assembly. So you set that aside. Take your pocket. You'll notice the shape of it. There's a flat edge on top and a V on the bottom. Fold the top edge down once, twice, about a 1/4 inch. Set that under your machine. It'll be the color of the back if you're working with cotton, and if you're working with a fur back, it'll be the same color as your belly. Tack, tack. One of the main differences between the cotton back and the fur backed hot bags is that the fur backed ones require the largest stitch your machine is capable of, whereas the cotton ones that prefer the smallest stitch your machine is capable of. Okay, so there's the top edge of the pocket hemmed. Now this is a new little feature on the toads. This is the heart. You can either put it underneath the pocket or on top of the pocket. I think this one's going to have a secret heart. Sometimes they may wear their hearts on their sleeve. So place the heart always on the left, just as the pockets have always been placed over the heart of the frog. And this time we're using leather. We're going to go to a big stitch and just carefully holding it down. No need to hem. Leather doesn't fray. And hand to the end. Now why the heart? Oh, just a sweet little touch. And it's a good place to put a drop of essential oil once the lavender flowers or orange peels and cloves or whatever scent you've started with have worn away. But if you do replace the scent, use the highest quality, purest essential oils, because this is something that you'll be snuggling with. You don't want to have anything toxic in it. Okay, so here's the pocket application, whether you choose to put the heart on the pocket or inside or not at all. You fold the edge of the pocket, again about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Place it where you want it. I'm just going to go around the edge of this once. I'm going to start at the top. Back, tack. Shorten our stitches up again. Now we've started this just at the top of the pocket, and now is when you want to hem the next leg of the pocket. So keep that hem down, bring it to the corner. Nice 1/16 of an inch stitch, 1/8 of an inch stitch, somewhere in there. Now you're going to turn it, and then you're going to fold the next leg of the pocket, as in the legs of the journey. Okay, down to the next corner. Up and around. Again, the last one, fold it up before you start heading towards it. Turn it and up we go. Tack, tack. Nice and solid. There you go. Trim your threads. Now you're ready to sew the top and the back together. Now it doesn't really matter what side you leave open. I'm going to start on the side that is away from the pocket. So make sure the right sides are together. This little guy had not enough fabric, so I almost invisibly attached another piece there. That's why the seam is here. So line everything up really carefully. Now you'll notice with the velvet, the corduroy and the fur, they all have a nap to them, so they do slide around a little bit. You want to make sure that the armpits right here and the place between the legs is lined up nicely. Alright, I think that's good. And then just hold it really firmly because, like I say, the nap here is moving it around a little bit for me here. Okay. You want to be able to leave a good 2-inch gap for stuff flipping and stuffing, so make sure you can place 3 fingers evenly spaced before you start. Now come down and around and make sure the stitches are nice and tight. We don't want any grains to escape. Back tack a little, good 1/4 inch all the way around. Again, check your next intersection between the legs in this case. Just make sure you're not losing your alignment. See that it's trying to move over a bit. That's okay. Some of these guys. Alright, now we're getting towards the top. I'm going to check the armpits, for lack of a better word, just before we come up the 1 foot. It slid down a little here, but that's okay. Okay, heading towards this first crotch here. This is the tricky bit, maybe. Here's the tricky bit. Now, it's really important not to put a V seam here, but a U seam. You want to keep it nice and rounded. Otherwise, turning it right side out and not, you'll compromise the fabric and wind up with a tear. Okay. Nice, roundabout seam. Line the next one up before you go across the head. Now, depending how deep you've made your darts, some people make them really shallow. I've made them a little deeper. You can have some extra fabric on top, so just be mindful of where your fabric is underneath. Trim it if you want. I'm going to leave it. I can feel it. Doesn't matter which way your darts go. I've got them toward the center, but it's up to you. I can feel my fabric edge there. The important part is not where the head lines up, but that the armpits line up nicely. All right, down and around in a nice U. Again. Still shifting, but that's the nature of the napped fabric. There we are. Closing stretch. Check again, make sure you're going to have enough of an opening. Make sure your fabric isn't completely off. I'm going to go to here. Another important point that'll pay off later. I'm going to back tack here to the right and come in to the left and back tack again, and you'll see there's now a width difference between the two seams. We're going to go back round again. And the reason for the width is that when you're turning it inside later and closing it, you're going to be very thankful for that. It just makes it such a dream to shut. So we'll turn everything around, and before we start heading around again, we're going to check the back, because sometimes you wind up just a little off, a little too close to the edge, but it looks like we're pretty even all the way around here. There's a bit of a, I'll keep that in mind as I come around my last corner there, that I want to come on the inside of the first seam on that side, and otherwise we're going to go around the outside because we have enough room all the way around to go around the outside. Okay, let's go. It should be a little quicker this time. Okay, first asterisk you're going to see on your instructions is this one. We're going to now, when we come around with the second row stitches, we're going to overlap right on the round here on the armpit so that we can clip and flip it and won't wind up with puckering. I'm going to make it start touching about now, and then can break away again and become about 1/8 of an inch away from your original seam. We're coming back in to touch it again because we're coming around the arc. I end up breaking away again and becoming 1/8 away, 1/8 of an inch away from the original seam. That's a little close. We're going to go on the inside there. And back on the outside. Now we're going to go as fast as this little machine can go. It curls up, all the better. You want that fabric nice and secure in there so no fraying happens. Okay, so we're coming up to another tight corner. We're going to go right close. Less than a 1/16 an inch away on this one. It's a bit wider than the armpit, so not as tight a corner. Now remember, we have this little thing here, so we're going to come on the inside here, and then we can cross over again. And there we go with our two seams, with some distance between them here and here. And then we cut all of our threads as we go. And we clip. So I'm going to trim off the excess on the face here. I just don't need it. And then go to the corners of the armpit. So we're going to clip down, probably to within about 1/8 of an inch of your stitches. This one I'm going to clip a little more right there. And this one is already pretty close. But I wasn't worried because we're clipping it that close anyway. And that will enable us to flip it right side out and have a nice curve. Trim a little bit of the excess here, especially if you're working with the fur. You don't want all that bulk. Sit there. Okay, and then we trim down between the legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is good. Put your fingers in, grab the farthest leg, the farthest hand, pop it through. Grab the farthest leg, push your thumb through. Grab the near leg, push your thumb through. Start just poking the whole rest of it through. You feel your eyeballs go through there. With the last hand, poke it through. And the face. And now you're ready to stuff. Your bag will come pre-weighed. I have some owl bags here. I'm using orange peel and clove. It'll be an approximate amount. Here's your funnel. And dump your bag in. And it depends whether or not you have your stitches 5/16 away from the edge, which is about what mine was, and then I brought it to the outside of that, or whether you have a 3/8 hand, but you're going to wind up with a slightly different bag every time. That's the beauty of handmade. So I'm going to pour a little more of this one in. These are measured to fit an owl. The frogs vary much more, so the amount of grains you'll get will be approximate. So I'll show you how to figure out what the right amount is. I'm going to squish it into the feet. Hold it at the seam, nice and tight, nothing falls out. Shake it into the hands and the feet. And then you want to be able to almost fold them in half. That should work just beautifully. Now if you want to put a label in. Okay, so I have labels facing the wrong direction, but that's okay. For the sake of getting the video done, we'll just do it. So you want to make sure that your fabric is folded in all the way along a good healthy 1/4 inch. Pardon me. Maybe even 3/8. Pardon me. Okay, I'm going to keep the color side up. And this is where that those 2 stitches come in handy because they're forcing the fabric to hold itself in. So line it up, the back and the front. And I don't use a pin when I'm sewing it together without the label because I can see through. I can see what's going on, but I want to make sure the lineup's perfect. So I can't see through the label. And there we are. All right. Make sure there's no grains underneath any of the seam that you're doing right now. The grains will pop your needle really quick, especially the wheat. Okay, forward, back tack, nice 1/16 of an inch if you can. Label has the microwaving instructions on it. 1 minute, then move it around if you want it a little hotter, and then do it a little longer if you want, but 1 minute for starters. Never more than that without moving it. It gets hot spots. And back tack. This is where you cross your fingers. You hope that the back of it looks good. And also sewed shut. Yep, we sewed shut. That's perfect. Okay, normally the toad will be facing the other way, same way as your frog. There you go. There's your hot toady. He's cute, eh? Hello. Get your kids to bed in a treat.